Hello, I'm Brandon Martini, a commercial pilot and flight instructor.
And I'm Carson Vasquez. I'm a private pilot.
And you're listening to the Aviation Mentors podcast sponsored by Stratus Financial.
So buckle up because the Aviation Mentors are taking off.
Hello, and welcome back to another great and fantastic episode of the Aviation Mentors podcast. I'm actually reporting live with Gustavo from Stratus Financial over in the Stratus booth at the Latino Pilot Expo today, or Latino Pilots Association Expo. And it's been a fantastic day today. We've met a whole lot of people, and especially some of our partner schools. So, Gus, you want to say hello?
Hello, everybody. Thank you, Brandon, for having me here. I'm sure that it's going to be an eventful podcast. So thank you so much for the invite.
No problem. So we've obviously met a bunch of partner schools out here. What's a partner school that you interacted with today that you've never met before? I know you've only been with Stratus maybe 2-3 months, or maybe how long has it been now?
2 months.
It's been 2 months. Well, it feels like I've known you forever now, so I can't believe this. It's only been 2 months. But I don't think you've ever met any partner schools in person. By the way, sorry if it's a little loud in the background. We're inside the Expo grounds, so it's just going to be part of the show today. So I hope you enjoy it. But who'd you end up meeting?
All right, so I met U.S. Aviation. I met Buiqui Aerospace, which, they're actually very nice. I met with Academy of Aviation, Epic. Actually, a few other ones that we're in the process of working with. So it's been very nice, great networking here, talking to a lot of people. So it's been a great event so far.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I went and saw all those people. If you look at the Stratus Facebook page, you'll actually see pictures of either me and Gus, or just me, or just Gus, along with all of those amazing flight schools that are here today. And if you're a flight school listening to this and you're a partner with us, please come to these expos so we can take pictures with you and meet you in person. Or just invite us over. We'll come on by and say hello. Regardless, though, there's also been a ton of airline partners around here today, and we've been talking to all of them, Delta, United, and Southwest. Everybody's had really productive conversations with us, and we're excited that we're getting to talk with these different airlines and hopefully help them fund some of their pathway programs. It's a real treat to meet these people in person, and it's been a great show so far. Is there anything that's kind of stuck out in your mind, Gus, that you've loved about the show? Did you like last night? They had a cocktail reception last night, and it was packed. It was sold out, and it should have been sold out. It was fantastic. They had great music on. There was great music. There were great people. Just the connections and people that you meet in aviation are truly spectacular. We also met somebody from the PAPA organization. So we're going to have the Asian Pilots Association on the podcast at some point. It's been really nice meeting these people. So I can't wait to forge some new relationships with all of them. And I just flagged down the owner of Buiqui Aerospace, and he owns a flight school in Kissimmee, Florida, and he's been a longtime partner with us for quite a while. So how you doing today, Georgie?
Hi, Brandon. All good. Everything going good here at the band. Having a lot of fun here next to the Stratus booth. Everything good.
It's awesome to hear. So I went over to your booth today, and it looks like you brought a simulator with you. And I could not believe how realistic it looked. The feel wasn't quite there, but it was realistic looking for sure. And I think it was the Gleim simulator with X-Plane installed, and it had a G1000 172. It was fantastic. So why'd you bring the simulator out to the expo?
So actually it's one of the 6 that we just ordered of Gleim. We ordered it's a BATD, it's FAA approved BATD flight simulator. It's the sensation is a little bit more, more than the actual airplane. So the idea is that you overshoot sometimes on the approaches. The idea is that you overshoot on the approaches. The idea is that you exaggerate a little bit of the movement. So once that you're on the airplane, it's a little bit more realistic. But we actually bring the simulator so people who's not yet a pilot, they can have that feeling of knowing what a plane is, how the airplane works, and have that sensation. It's actually pretty helpful before you actually enroll into the flight school to just try the simulator. It's the same thing as a discovery flight, but sometimes it's a little bit better, to have that experience over there.
That's fantastic. Is there anyone at the show that you've met that was really spectacular, except for obviously meeting Gus for the first time and me seeing me, I don't know, 10 times now? Is there anybody you've met here that you want to kind of shout out to that you really enjoyed meeting?
Yeah, so actually, yeah, all the guests were amazing. We had two students that they're gonna apply. They say tomorrow after the event that they came today. They're gonna check us out tomorrow on the event because we're gonna have some planes on display over there. They actually did amazing on the simulator. They did amazing, and they have never flown before, but they performed super well. We're glad also to close some other partnerships with all other airlines. Like Piedmont, Mountain Cargo, and other airlines that they're going to be going to the school, and we're super near close to close a relationship with JetBlue. So yeah, it was a nice expo.
Oh, that's fantastic to hear. I'm always excited for your growth. I've been watching you grow for, I don't know, I think we've been working together for a little over a year now, and it's been fantastic seeing you grow, and I can't wait until you open even more locations. By the way, Georgie's the one who lent me a 172 in Puerto Rico when I went to go visit my friend Anthony out there late last year, and it was a blast. So thank you again for letting me do that, and I had such a good time in Puerto Rico, and I hear that you're opening up more locations. Is that true in Puerto Rico?
Yep. So Puerto Rico, it was an underestimated market. Once we opened the first one in Aguadilla, we decided to open our second one in San Juan. And now, because of like all the requests that we have on all the applications that we have, we are opening one more in Ponce, and then in October we're gonna be opening one more in Ceiba. So that way we cover like the whole island pretty much. The 4 points, each airport is around 40-50 miles, not nautical miles from distance from each other. So it's perfect for cross country flights, and we're gonna have a pretty nice operation over there. Right now, we're the busiest flight school in Puerto Rico, and of course, we're expecting to keep being the busiest flight school in Puerto Rico. No,
Well, when I saw his operation over there, it was world class. It's a little bit different flying in I guess it's a U.S. territory. It's not a state, but it kind of feels like another country because you can't just walk on the airport like you can in California or even in Florida or things like that. So it was an interesting experience, but it was the most beautiful flying I think I've ever done. And I've flown all over the U.S. I mean, you guys heard a story the other day, or a couple stories about me actually flying across the U.S. And flying in Puerto Rico is absolutely beautiful. And Gustavo's from Puerto Rico as well, so he gets to talk my ear off about how great it is, and I have to agree with everything he says about it. To be honest, it's really fantastic. So there's something that Carson and I. Oh, by the way, I didn't mention it. Carson's not on the episodes today because he's in Southern California, and we couldn't really get him live on the episode. But hi, Carson. Sorry you're missing out. We're having fun without you over here. But Carson always asks this question usually, so I'm going to ask it for him. What got you into aviation? And obviously, you have a massive love for it based on the passion that I've seen in your company. What got you into aviation? Can you tell us kind of the story on why you're a pilot? You are a pilot, right? Yeah, he is a pilot. Just want to make sure. I was 99% sure he told me he was a pilot when I first met him. But yeah, what got you into aviation? Why did you become a pilot? I mean, I know why I became a pilot, and it's for freedom. What was it for you?
So we're three brothers, and since little kids, we always wanted to be pilots. We didn't thought that we were gonna make it because we were most focused on like normal career path, like like finances and all that stuff. Then in Ecuador, we're from Ecuador. We built the short stories that we built a company over there. We were young. We built a company, and we built one of the import companies. So we used to import like cell phones, accessories, and all that stuff. We started expanding in Ecuador. We became one of the biggest cell phone companies in Ecuador, and we get bought by another company, a bigger company. So we had some money, we had some money, and we decided to move to the U.S. to buy a plane, and with that plane to learn how to fly. We buy the plane, and sadly we couldn't find any instructors available. We went to a lot of flight schools with our plane, and we're like, hey, can you teach us how to fly? And they were like, no, we don't accept this type of like you need to do everything through the school. We were like, okay. Then we started like flight training at some schools, but they were missing like a lot of things, especially like flexibility on the schedule, like opening Sundays. Most of the schools they didn't open Sundays. Most of the schools they didn't have like a later schedule, like 6 p.m., 8 p.m. Like that flexibility that we were looking. So we were like, okay, we should open a flight school. We buy one more plane and we open the school. Now we have 38 airplanes and and 45 instructors. So we have been on track.
So you said how many airplanes?
38.
38. 38 airplanes. By the way, that puts his flight school up in in the range of probably the top 20 flight schools in the U.S. in terms of size. That's pretty impressive. I know a lot of flight schools. I mean, I have personal relationships with well over 100 of them, and I don't know that many of them that have 38 airplanes. And you're trying to expand, or not trying, you are expanding. So you're expanding even more in Puerto Rico. And do you have any plans for expansion in the U.S.? Is there anywhere else we should expect to see you in your flight school?
Yep. So we are expanding. We want to expand more here in Florida. We're looking for more locations. Sadly, the airports don't have like a lot of spaces available, but we are trying to expand or buy out some other schools. So we are in the process right now of expanding, maybe to Melbourne locations, Tampa location here in Florida. We're looking for a couple other locations up north. Yeah, we do have about expanding. We do have orders. Next week we are receiving 2023 Cessna 172, the last one for the year. And next year we're expecting 6 more 2024s 172s. Those are the new ones and the only ones available. Plus we're buying a lot more 150s and more planes. So the goal by the end of this year is to finish with at least 50 airplanes on this year. That's 2023's goal.
Wow, that's amazing. I mean, that's just going to correlate into lots of time slots for your students, which is what it's all about. And I see Gus's face smiling when he hears 23 and 24 airplanes. Have you flown an airplane that new before, Gus?
Well, technically I did, but it wasn't like brand new. So I will say that maybe I got my private pilot license back in 2009. I was flying like 2006 airplanes, but I haven't flown a brand new one. So hopefully I can rent one of those when you get them.
It sounds, yeah. Gus lives over in Tampa, and Kissimmee is a little bit further away. But I think you would drive over here for that, because I might fly over here across the nation to go fly a 23 airplane. But actually, I did get to fly a 23 airplane when I went to Puerto Rico. He gave me the keys to a 23 airplane, so that was literally the newest aircraft I've ever flown in my life. So that was kind of neat. It has the same quirks though. From a 1980 to a 2023, the doors don't like to shut the same way. It's all the same stuff. It's pretty hilarious. But I guess that's what Cessna does. They've perfected a design and kept it going that way for a long time. So it's been fantastic. Well, with that being said, Georgie, thanks so much for coming by. I know I just flagged you and put you sit down next to me like on the fly. Thanks for joining us on the podcast today, and it was fantastic having you. So, as always, if anybody wants to reach out to me or Carson, it is Brandon at aviationmentors.com for Carson. It's Carson at aviationmentors.com. And we'll see you later on. We're going to have a couple more of these interviews most likely on the podcast, so stay tuned. Thanks again, George.
Thank you, Brandon. I appreciate your time.
Oh, by the way, where can we find your website at?
So our website is under buiqui.com. It's buiqui.com.
Perfect. And just remember, Stratus Financial can finance all your student needs over there. So have a great one, guys. See ya.